On live.
Okay.
Lord, if I find favor in your sight, Lord, please. There we go. Hear my heart's cry. I'm desperately waiting to be where you are. Across the hottest desert, travel near or for your glory. All right. Just to see you. How's it going? How's it going? Let's see here. As we're connecting everything, as you're coming in, let us know where you're coming in from, what city and state that you're coming in from. And as you're coming in, please, please, please share this live and tag anybody that you think may benefit from this. We're excited to have you on today for Candid Conversation. So as you're coming in, please let us know where it is that you're coming in from. Welcome, 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 everyone. To Candid Conversation. My name is Chandra Jones-Williams, CEO and founder of Chandra Speaks. I am super excited to be here today. Got an amazing special guest. I'm about to dive into that in just a few moments. So welcome everybody. As you're coming in, I'm gonna give some people a minute to come on in and share. Y'all make sure you share this live. We are just honored today, first of all, to celebrate breast cancer, all of our survivors, those who are going through, and to bring awareness, because you know early detection is key. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you all for coming in. Let us know when you're coming in. And if you come back and watch this, let us know that you are watching on the replay. And let me just tell you, breast cancer is very near and dear to me, because my father is a breast cancer survivor. And so I never thought a man could have breast cancer, right? But of course, that's how it all started for me, and how it got so near and dear to my heart. And so we're going to go ahead and get started here. Y'all know I can't see without my glasses, so I don't even know. I ain't trying to fake it like that, right? So you all, I am so honored and excited on today. Let me just tell you, I'm so excited to share with you all on today with this amazing, oh my God, y'all got a treat today. This amazing woman of God, Miss LaToya Dotson. Let me just tell you a little bit about LaToya before we dive in. LaToya is the founder and director of Pink Savvy Incorporated. Pink Savvy is a breast cancer organization that was established in 2014 for women that are going through breast cancer, as well as breast cancer survivors. Pink Savvy was launched after 2 years of volunteer work at West Clinic as a chemo companion. She began volunteering after her mother-in-law was diagnosed with stage 3 triple negative breast cancer. She is now a 12-year survivor. And so after LaToya went through all of that, she herself was diagnosed with breast cancer early February of 2019. She was diagnosed with triple positive breast cancer, which is also known as HER2. And so she's determined now than ever to advocate and fight with women and all those that come in contact with her with this deadly disease, breast cancer. So I'm so excited. LaToya, how are you doing on today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Awesome. Let me get this volume straight. We're so excited and glad to have you. Okay, there we go. How you doing on today?
I'm good. I'm doing really good today.
Okay, awesome and amazing. I tell you what, we're gonna let you just go ahead in just a second. So, uh, as I start and as I get into this conversation, why don't you go ahead and tell us about LaToya Dotson and how this all started for you? Take us back from pretty much what I just talked about your journey.
My name is LaToya Dotson. I am a mom and a wife. I love helping people. That's always been a passion for me. And so I knew that my life purpose was to be, was going to be helping others. I just didn't know in what way. And so, like you said, in 2014, Pink Savvy Incorporated was established after my mother-in-law had fought breast cancer, triple negative breast, stage 3 triple negative breast cancer herself. So I started it as a chemo companion, and then it just grew from there. And God continues to pour into me things to do and ways to help these women. And so February of 2019, I was diagnosed with stage 1 triple positive breast cancer. And it all started by, my body was feeling just off. Like I was exhausted all the time. I did not know why I was feeling the way I felt. And I actually kept going to the doctor over and over, and they would always say, we don't see anything, there's nothing wrong. But I myself knew that there was something wrong because I knew my body. And I've always done my self exams just because I preach about it all the time. So it's almost kind of a religious thing to me. I do it every day. And my husband would be like, stop fumbling with your stuff, girl. But it became a habit, with me doing it because I just wanted to be aware. And they always say that your greatest fear could happen to you. And I didn't know I feared it, but me being checking myself every day indicated that there was a fear of something. So I did not discover my lump myself. I actually ended up going to a cardiologist because I was having all of these issues. I was having pain on my left side, and it was just like an aching pain. It almost felt like a pulling pain as well. So it started going down my left arm. And I was like, let me get this checked out because I don't want to be having a heart attack or anything like that. I had just turned 40 as well. So a lot of people say that your body breaks down at 40, that you go through all these changes. And I was like, well, maybe that's it. I'm just, going through all these changes. But went to the cardiologist, and he ordered all these different tests on me. And the mass showed up on a heart CT scan. He did not think that it was anything, but he advised me to go get a mammogram. And I didn't when he first advised me to go get a mammogram. He actually called me, I want to say 2 weeks later, which I knew was nothing but God because he's a cardiologist, and he could have just said, there's nothing wrong with your heart and left it at that. Right. And then he advised me and then called me to follow up with me. That took a lot out of his time as a doctor to do so. And so to this day, I always send him a card and, of gratitude. I send him, I found out his birthday. I send him things just as a thank you because he did not have to do that at all. But he called and made my mammogram appointment at West Clinic. Yes, he called and made my appointment, made my referral, which you have to have a referral, but he wasn't my OB or my PCP. He was my cardiologist, and he did that on my behalf. And I'm forever grateful for that. And went in and got the mammogram done. They set me back out in the waiting room. And then they said, well, we're going to have to call you back again to get some more images. And so went back again, set me back in the waiting room. After this time, I've been there almost 3 hours. Call me back. They said, we're going to have to do an ultrasound. And so then they were like, we're going to have to call the doctor in to see you. And so when that happened, I knew that something was not right. And then the process began from there on.
Oh, wow. Wow, you said a lot of different things. And so I want to kind of touch on, because you didn't initially have like the lump to say, okay, I feel a lump, go to the doctor. But I guess I want to really put the emphasis on know your body. So can you speak on that? Because that's a key factor, that everybody, that's men and women, know your body. Can you talk about that? Or like know your body?
Yeah, for me, I was always upbeat, energetic. I was a planner. I was always strategic in what I did. I had things mapped out. And it was just like all of a sudden, I was just tired all the time. I even changed my diet completely. I went straight vegan for 6 months to see if I could reboot my body. Nothing I did worked. I exercised every day. I felt that I was a pretty healthy person. Yes, I ate stuff that I didn't need to eat. But
Right, we
I
all
felt
do. We
like I
all
was,
do.
yeah, we all do. I felt like I was a pretty healthy person. But when I just could not get my body to feel like it did before, I knew that there was something going on. So if there's any type of chemical imbalance, because I'm
Right.
finding that a lot of people are being diagnosed with autoimmune issues. I truly believe a lot of it is in our foods today. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that we have to be mindful of what we ingest and how much we ingest it.
Right.
But yeah, that was it for me. And so I feel like if anything is off with your body, then you should get it checked out. It may not be anything major, and I pray that it never is,
Right.
but it's better to be safe than, to be sorry. Because like I said, we as African American women, we do a lot, and we
Exactly.
are heavy on putting ourselves off so that we could keep doing. But we have to stop and take care of ourselves. We really do.
Right. You know what? You're so absolutely correct. When something is off, go get it checked. And it's amazing, because out of this entire month, I've done different interviews with different people, from my dad, and of course, um, Stephanie Turner, and then Toya, and now you, and everybody had a total different experience. Because I think sometimes people may think, okay, well, if there's not a lump, that's not tied to it. So even between you and yesterday, I mean Tuesday with Toya, it was totally different. There was no lump, and it came up. And so I really want to emphasize that
Mm-hmm.
if you're out there, if something's off with your body, go get it checked. That is so important, because you heard LaToya, she didn't have the lump, but the fatigue, and you went vegan for 6 months.
For 6 months.
Girl, that meant I would have had to gave up my chicken for 6 months.
Yep, every kind of meat I gave it up. I didn't eat fish. I didn't eat anything.
How did you survive that?
At
What kind
first,
of things did you eat?
I just ate vegetables. When I first started, I didn't know a lot. I did stir fry, like vegetable stir fry, all the time until I got sick of it. And then I did a lot of fruit, but then I learned, I know there's a lady named, her name is Tabitha. She's on Facebook Live, and she has like this vegan channel. And so I started following her. And then I just started following different people that did vegan recipes on Instagram and all of that. And so I just started trying things. And now there's so many varieties of foods that you can eat that are vegan, and they have like the plant-based stuff. Like I didn't
Right.
do the plant-based stuff. I tried, and I did not like it at all. So I left that alone. And so I stuck with, just cooking my own vegetables fresh, either grilling them, searing them, or baking them. And it was fine. I mean, I'm thinking of doing it again just to reboot my body again. But I saw a difference in my skin and things like that, but my energy levels did not have.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I knew that something was off with my body.
So did you learn a lot? Because when my father went through breast cancer, that was one of the things that made me start diving into different foods and the foods that even help fight cancer, foods that feed cancer. Uh, did you come up with any of those that you can share about different foods that?
Of course, I've shared them all over Facebook. Every time I would find out information and, become educated on foods, whether it was, broccoli, beets. I know sugar is a big thing.
Right, feeds cancer.
Sugar does. Anything processed feeds cancer. I always try to, put things out there for people, even cancer survivor, somebody going through cancer, just anybody that wanted to be educated on the things that we should be doing for
Right,
our.
right.
So
Right. I'm glad you touched on that because healthy lifestyle is important. I mean, we say this, but I'm serious. Some things can be preventative. So I'm glad she touched on that. So I want you to really pay attention to living a healthy lifestyle, whether you feel something right now or experience, your health really is your greatest wealth. So you got to take care of your body. That is one thing I learned. And I was a big sugar eater, right? And when I learned that sugar feeds cancer, I was like, oh, uh-oh, you had better kind of start shifting, eating a lot of these things. And so I'm so glad that you did, that you touched on that for me. So is there any history of breast cancer on your side for your family? Did you have any history of breast cancer?
where my mom, she was diagnosed, but she was stage 0. And this was 11 years ago. And she didn't have to do any treatments at all. She had the lump removed and she was done.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Wow. So how important would you say it is to know your history?
Oh, it's very important to know your history. And that's one of the things that I always try to tell people as well, to know your history. Like once I was diagnosed, I had my nieces and I told them like you need to get the genetic testing because they were 18. And even after a few more years, as they grow older, they need to do it again because things can change. I did not know things can change in your genetic testing, but they can. And so, yeah, it's very, very important to know your history on both sides. And I found that to be a lot of us, we don't know that. A lot of people, they don't know history on both sides. I didn't know that my dad's mom had breast cancer until I was diagnosed. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But because they didn't talk about it.
Right,
I
right.
mean, they didn't even they couldn't give me any information about it. They just said they saw her and she ended up having her breast removed. They don't know the whole process or what happened, but I was told once I was diagnosed that that was a part of our history. So, yeah.
Yeah, knowing your history is very important because a lot of people don't. And I mean, that's what made me, even after my father's diagnosis, I pretty much knew everybody on his side, all of his siblings that have, everybody died of cancer of some sort. My grandmother, my grandfather, breast cancer through different aunts. And I'm like, okay, look, okay, wait a minute. It's on my street. So you need to know your history. And so even if you have not talked, take some time, ask some questions to know what's going on both sides of your family, because yeah, that is very, very, very important. So I'm glad that you touched on that. So let's kind of dive into, you've been doing all of this community work. Pink Savvy was established. I mean, you've been giving back for all of these different years. Your mother-in-law was diagnosed, and then all of a sudden, let's see,
Yeah.
you got the news yourself. So walk me through your initial, when you heard it's breast cancer. Tell me what were your thoughts? What was the initial?
My first initial thought was, did I bring this on myself? Like, God, did I not hear you right? Am I supposed to be working with these ladies with breast cancer? You know, I was like, what is happening? I really, really did not understand, you know, not saying why it had to be me, but why it had to be me, you know, why I was doing the work. I know I have a giving heart. I know I love people. I'm a genuine person. This much as I can say about myself, I do know. And I just did not get it. Why it had to, why was this happening to me? And so my husband said the same thing. He was like, I don't understand that, Toy. You know, I just don't understand it. But God said, why not? Why not you? You know, I'm not any different from anybody else. So, and he never said that we would not go through things. And so I had to take that approach and, you know, and receive what it was and just kind of go through the process. You know, I didn't understand it then, but now I do.
Wow. Wow. Were you ever angry with God? What were you ever angry?
I was angry. Um, because I was angry and scared. Because I didn't know what the outcome of it all would be. Like I said, I was so used to being in control. And with cancer, you have no control of anything. And it's like you are angry because you feel like your body has turned on you and is working against you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And so, and the only person that can help you is God. He is the only person that can help you through this process. And so, with that, I feel like, God, you knew. You know, you knew that this was a part of the plan. Like, I needed a heads up. I needed some
Oh,
type
you wanted him to prepare you.
yeah. Yeah, I needed to be prepared for this some type of way because, as I said, I was always a planner. And when that came in, it changed everything in my life. Like I said, I just turned 40. I felt like I was, you know, on the path of doing everything that my heart desired to do. And that coming changed everything. It shifted.
Wow, you had just turned 40. So see, that's like a big milestone. So you hit 40, you know, that's that big milestone. Okay, Lordy,
Mhm.
Lordy, look who's 40.
Right.
What the world, how did you emotionally grasp that? At 40 years old, I'm doing God's work, and then all of a sudden you hit me with this. Walk me through that emotional journey.
Emotionally, I think at first I felt like I was distraught. Like I cried all the time. I think I only reached out to Stephanie Turner was one. Miss Danita Brown was another because they were two survivors. And I needed somebody that I could kind of talk to about it, not just about the process, but just kind of be like, I'm scared. Like, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to think or do with this right now. And I did not tell. My husband knew, my sister knew. I think I talked to them too before I even talked to my mom about it. Because my parents are up in age, and I was like, the last thing I want to do is put stress on my parents. And I was emotionally distraught for about 3 months. I was in I don't want to say a dark place, but I was not myself. I withdrew. I didn't respond to messages. Um, I didn't answer phone calls because I had to process. I had to process everything, you know, for
So
myself.
it took you about 3 months to process.
It took me 4, but
Oh,
I want to say after 3 months, I was ready to text people back after about 3 months, but I didn't reveal to people that I had it until after my first chemo. And so I had surgery. I had all of this stuff done. But I knew, no, my second chemo, but I knew after chemo started, my looks were going to change. And because the description of the chemo let me know that I would lose my hair and all of this. And so I decided then, I prayed about it. And when God said, count it all joy, from that day forward, that's what I did. I actually, I shared my journey, not everything, but I shared a lot of it with people.
Now, did you have understanding people, a lot of support? Because a lot of times people don't understand what the other person has to go through or all of that. So walk me through
I
the
had
importance of support.
understanding people. I did have understanding people, but one thing that I was very, very careful with was
Okay.
not acting out of my emotions.
Okay.
Because I went through postpartum depression after my last son.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up having to go back and apologize to people for acting out of my emotions with things. And so if I felt like I was emotionally distraught, I just didn't respond because I didn't want to hurt people that were trying to be there for me. So I was very
Okay.
conscious of that.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good because a lot of people, and it's funny because everybody that I've talked to within these last couple of weeks is the same thing. And I think you can't take away from anybody's process or their journey. You just got to be understanding and really take you out of the equation. And so, it took you a minute, but that's okay. You know, that's okay because you had to be okay with would you say you ever went through denial? Would you say that you ever went through denial? Did you go back and forth with that, or did you accept it right away? You just had to
No,
process it.
I didn't accept it right away. I actually expected to walk in the doctor's office sometimes and they'd be like, it's gone. We don't see it no more. I really did. I was like, okay, God, you work miracles. You do this thing now. I need to walk in here today and they give me this test and it's no longer there. So yes, I did go through that process. I did. And then sometimes today I still think like, I cannot believe that I went through this. But I mean, it's a reality.
So it was hard for you to release the control back to God. That as a person.
It was very, very hard. But once I did, I think that's where I could, find the joy and be able to share. Because then I learned to live in the moment, to take it one day, well, 1 minute at a time, in that process.
Let's see. She kind of went out 1 second, guys. Let her. She kind of froze for a second. Let's see. You back with me? You had froze
Yeah.
up.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
here.
Okay. I said I'm gonna give you a second because you had froze up for a second. I'm still
Okay.
talking. Okay. Okay. You can finish what you were saying.
Now, I was saying that, I had to learn, through the process and, through prayer to just commit myself back to God and then give him me again, and allow him to do whatever it was he was going to do through this process. And so I just had to count it
Right.
all joy, and like I said, live minute by minute and allow him to just do whatever it was he was going to do with this whole thing because I had no idea the purpose of this.
So now that you're on this side of it, what would you say is the biggest lesson God taught you through all of this experience? You knew that okay, I love controlling everything, but what would you say now? What did you learn?
I want to say to Not take any time for granted. Not nothing. The people that are in your life, because life can change so quickly. Um, I just wanted to share this. While I was going through the process, I my husband's best friend passed away in front of us. And he had a massive stroke. And this was in Christmas Day after we finished eating dinner. And all in all, I kept thinking, I'm going through the process, like, chemo can take me out and it can do this. And then seeing that happen like this so fast, it was like God saying to me, you don't have a calendar. Like, I am the creator of your story. You don't know when it's your time or when it's their time. We think we have all this time. But to me, my biggest message is that, because I was a planner, is that you have to commit your time to him. Allow him to direct your path. Allow him to move you in purpose. And so that was my biggest takeaway is, God, I want to do what it is that you have me to do on this earth with the time that you have given me to do it. And a lot of people say, life is short. I believe that life is what we make it while we have it. So what are we going to do with the time that we have?
That's good. That's good. I've been on time for a minute. Time waits for no one. You cannot waste any time. They say you can be here today, gone tomorrow. You can be here today, gone today. I
Today.
have seen so many people now, like, did you hear such and such? Like within this week, I've lost quite a few people that I know. And so we shouldn't take any time for granted. I'm glad you touched on that. Make sure you tell your loved ones you love them. Make sure you tell your friends you love them, because time is precious and you don't want to have to wait. And so I'm glad that that you did touch on that time is precious.
It's very
And
precious.
it keeps going, right? And the thing about time though is we don't get it back.
Nope.
You don't get time back. So you can't go back and retract, but you can every moment. So if somebody's on your heart, reach out to them. Make sure you call them. Make sure you stay in touch with the people that you love, those that love you, and embrace those beautiful things. So I'm glad that you really touched on that. I'm so glad that you touched on that. So I want you now to kind of go back for a second, because you talked about losing the hair, losing the hair, and you had to go through, I know that's a big one, especially for women. I want you to talk about that. How was that experience for you? How was that when you had to experience hair loss?
Well, losing my hair wasn't bad for me because I expected it. I guess because I had seen it before with
Right.
people. And I'm not a vain person. I love fashion now. I love all of that, but I'm not vain. I could go out the house, looking a mess. Not with no bonnet on, but not bonnet miss. But I could go out the house, without makeup and throw my hair in a ponytail and keep it moving. But at first, I was a little leery of doing it because, of it coming out, because I have sons. And I didn't want them to be uncomfortable when we were out and about, with me having a bald head. And I would ask them, like, you want mama to wear a wig today? And then my middle son would be like, no, mama, I'm fine with you, wearing your bald head. And then I had hot flashes that were ridiculous. So
Really?
a lot of times my wig would end up, beside me or in my purse. But I just couldn't, and I tried, but I couldn't most of the time wear the wigs because I was so hot. And my 7-year-old son, he just found it hilarious. And he also thought it was cool at the same time, that I had a bald head. And so he would make fun of me and his dad together because my husband is bald, and say that we were twins. So he really, and I thank God for my boys, but that Dylan, he really got me through that process because he is hilarious.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, wow, wow. So I know that's a big thing too, because most people think about the hair thing. Okay. Especially if your hair is, Toya put it, your glory.
Mhm.
If your hair is your glory, then you gotta figure out, okay, how am I about to adjust to life without this hair? Oh my God, what the world am I going to do? Oh
I kept
wow.
it moving. I think the worst part for me, well, physically, was my nails rotting off. My
Right.
nails, my fingernails, and my toenails, and my tongue turned black.
Really?
Yes, my
So it
tongue,
turned completely black.
it turned completely black.
How did you adjust to that?
I didn't want to talk a lot to people because I didn't want people, looking
To
in my
see
mouth.
it?
But if I did talk, I would explain. This is what's going on, and I hated that because I didn't want the pity. So I hated telling people that my tongue is black because of chemo. But as far as like my nails, because I kept my nails polished. That's one of my things, to keep my nails polished. I found out putting nail polish on them kind of made it worse.
Really?
It made them look worse. After you would take, I think it was the isotone removing
Okay.
the nail
Okay.
polish, but yes, it would make them look really, really just funny, fungus looking. And so my nails turned black, and then they eventually came off. My toenails did the same, and my tongue turning black. But my bald head did not bother me much. I started owning that thing and rocking it after a while.
You rock that bald head.
I did. I did.
Oh wow. So I'm glad you pointed that out. I never knew that the nail polish uh
Mhm.
takes
Well, I
away.
want
So
to say the nail polish made it worse. I think it was like the
the
isotone,
isotone
the
in,
chemical,
okay.
yeah, in the
Okay.
isotone when you remove the nail polish.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But I polished them because, like you said, I didn't want that attention on my hands or anything else. And if I could try to keep people from staring at me, because you lose everything, your eyebrows, eyelashes, in everything. And if I could keep people from pitying me in any type of way, I would try to mask it.
Wow. So I mean, your description is just that. You lose everything. So you're gonna lose from the eyelashes, eyebrows, all of that. So that didn't really bother you. So the biggest part for you was the nails and the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Because I lost my sense of taste um, with the tongue turning black.
And how
So
long was that process?
I want to say that lasted all of 5 months.
Really?
hmm So nothing, I ain't gonna say nothing. I could taste salt in anything.
Really?
Yes, it was like it could have a pinch of salt, and it would taste like I need to check my blood pressure after I ate it. It was so salty. I don't know why or what it was, but chemo affects everybody differently. And for me, it did that to me. I could detect salt in any food.
Wow. Wow, that's what I'm saying. It's so amazing. Everybody's process is totally, totally different. And so that's why I'm enjoying having different conversations with different women who have, been able to knock this thing out, but to really come back to this place and share the journey because, there's joy in the journey,
It
right?
is.
When you look back, that's the good saying now. There's joy in the journey. Because when
Definitely.
you look back, there's greater joy in the journey because as I'm listening to you talk about it now, you've come through it. We laugh about a lot of things now, but it wasn't funny going through it. But how you can look back and see, first of all, that God kept you through it all. And I think most people got to understand that word through because that's it, through every breakthrough, everything's
Yeah,
through the rough side through, but there's another side that
it
you will
is.
eventually get through. And so it was in that journey that you found the joy in the journey. So yeah, that right there is. Wow. That's good.
My mind. He kept my mind. That was the most important
Let's
thing.
talk about that.
He kept my mind.
Because
Like,
that's been a big factor for a lot of people is the mental state.
yes, and it needs
How
to
did
be
you keep your
addressed
mind?
more. I feel like when a person goes in for, this, that they immediately need to be assigned a counselor immediately. And we may think we are champions because I felt like I was a champion before, but I want to say halfway through the process, when all of that stuff happened with my husband's best friend, I was already like on an emotional roller coaster because you see all the different changes happening, things that you can't control that's going on with your body. You're having these muscle spasms and, you're having hot sweats and you can't sleep at night well. And it's just so many different things. Your mind is racing. You're watching your children go to school and you're wondering if you're going to see them grow up. And so then I had a good friend that passed away that was going through the same process. And then 2 weeks after that, my husband's best friend passed away. And I crashed. Like I crashed. I've never felt helpless. I
Good.
felt helpless at that point. And I went into a depression. And I want to say that was the only point through the process that I went into a depression because it felt like death was all around me. And again, I didn't understand what was happening or why it was happening. And so I needed help. And I was assigned a counselor where I was getting treatment. And she was absolutely amazing. I'm thankful that she was a God-fearing counselor. So she implemented Christ in her message. But I feel like everybody that goes through this process, we are prepared kind of for the physical, but we're
Right.
not prepared for the mental anguish that comes along with it, even after you're finished with the chemo. And I had to go back even after being done.
So why did you have to go back? What was
The fear plays with your
okay.
mind,
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
it coming, it returning.
Okay.
And all of that. It's like I want to move on. I want to be happy. I want to, celebrate. But then what if?
What if? Yeah.
That part. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That you know what? That's good. But I mean, I guess the thing about life, we don't know any what ifs. It's all in God's whatever He's going to do. And I think that's the biggest thing is making sure that we trust Him with our whole heart because we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know whether it be that comeback, something else could happen. But wow, yeah, trust Him.
Yeah.
Trust Him with your whole heart, no matter what is going on, because He's the only one that knows.
He's the only one that
He's the
knows.
only
We
one
just
that
have to
knows.
exercise.
And we can't try to tell Him what to do. Like, God, can you do it this way? Or will you? It's like, mm-mm. So you just
No,
got to surrender and let God be God and just let Him do
what he's trying to
exactly
do,
what right.
exactly. You have to, and look for
Wow. Just let Him do
like you
what He's
said,
going
look
to
for
do.
the joy in the process. Look for, what you have. You have to be appreciative of what you have and where you are in those moments. And so
Wow.
I really learned all of that, going through the process. I learned to just appreciate what I had and where I was in those moments.
Wow. That's good. That's good. And so as we begin to kind of wrap this up, but I want you to talk about because I was on your you did for Pink Savvy, y'all did a whole
Family
presentation.
conversations. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
But you talked about through cancer, what did cancer cure for you?
Oh, whew. It
Because
cured.
that was deep. Now that right there, That was deep because y'all people going through cancer. You had to go through a lot, so I think it should have cured something.
Yeah, yeah. It cured me um not caring what people think of me.
Hallelujah to the Lamb.
It cured a lot of fear, a lot of fear for things, because Cancer Conversation probably wouldn't have been anything that I would have ever done before being diagnosed, because I did not like talking in front of people. So because I didn't feel like I was, that person to be doing that type of thing. But God qualified me to do whatever it is that He called me to do. So,
You better speak on it.
that went out the window. It's like if He gives you something to do, then you do that, no matter if people think you're qualified to do it or not. Do what He has given you to do. And so now I move on whatever it is that He has for me, and that's it. And people pleasing, trying to make everybody happy, that cured that. I've learned to say no and not second guess it. I'm good in my no.
You good in your no.
I'm good
I like that.
in my no.
Now I need you to repeat that again for the people in the back, just in case they didn't hear it, because you said if God gave you something to do, then that qualified you. I need you to say that again because somebody out there needs to be reminded that it's being held back for that very reason, because you concerned about, well, I wonder what they think. I wonder what they think. I wonder if I'm good enough. I wonder if I'm worthy. But you had to go through cancer for God to cure that for you. So I need you to speak on that again so that somebody can really, really catch that, because I'm telling you, people pleasing and trying to be accepted and validated. The last time I checked, the only thing I need validating is parking. Okay. When and if I need it done. But if God calls you to it, He qualified you.
Yes.
Say it again, but this time I need you to say it for the people in the back that didn't get it quite. They might didn't get it.
If God gave you something to do, He has already qualified you to do it. All we have to do is just listen to Him for instructions on how to do it. And He's going to bring us through it. And that's one thing, that's one of the main things that I learned. And I hope that people, whoever's watching this, if you are doubting yourself about doing anything that God has given you, it doesn't matter if the market is saturated. It doesn't matter if you feel like you're not qualified enough, you don't have this degree or whatever it may be. God has qualified you to do it just by giving it to you to do. So move on what He's given you. And I hate that it took, me going through cancer to get that, because I feel like I wasted time. I know things will happen in its own time, but I felt like, where could I have been right now if I did not care what they thought? If I did not care that the market was saturated? If I did not care that this person didn't want to connect with me? Where would I be? But God has me where He has me right now. As long as you have life in your body, you have purpose.
That's it. We all have purpose. And the beautiful thing is, I've learned nothing's wasted. Nothing's wasted time, because you're either going to learn a major lesson, and it's what you do with the lessons that God allows us to allow. Romans 8:28, I stand on that. All things work together for His good. But the beautiful thing is that's your superpower. You being who you are, who God called you. And see, nobody can do it like LaToya Dotson can do it. Can't nobody show up like you can. They can try, they can try, but that's your superpower. You being you. That's your uniqueness to who you are. And so, I want to honor you on today. I congratulate you on just showing up, honey. It's your time, it's your season for such a time as this. And God is just ready for you to disrupt. the world with your presence and all that he has placed in you. So y'all better watch out, because she ain't worried about people no more. And ain't what
Yep.
but that's a good thing.
It
That's one of the most
definitely is.
amazing things.
It's
But here's
freedom.
another thing I want to
It's
say.
freedom, and that's what people don't understand. It is
It
freedom.
is. It's
It's freedom.
freedom, but a lot of people, even when what you're going through, they miss God. They
Mhm,
miss God in the season.
mhm.
Because if God has you going through a suffering season of any sort, whether it be sickness, whether you can't miss God,
Yeah.
because that's the beauty of it. You didn't miss God.
Mhm.
And so because you didn't miss God, look at the transformation that happened in your life, even through this amazing journey. Because you started out with giving back, you're helping, ain't God good? But look how God turned that. You went through that, and then you found out you had it. But look at when you go back and look, isn't it a blessing that you're not even the same person
Mhm.
that you were when you went into that thing? And when you probably looking in the mirror now like, okay, God, I ain't trying to control nothing. You knew what I needed. You knew what to
Yeah.
do. But
Exactly.
had you missed God,
Yeah.
you would have missed all of that.
And a lot of people go through trials and tests and they come out the same. And I'm like, what were you focused on? You know what I'm saying? It's like, what were you focused on? Because in that trial, something within you should have changed. Something.
Exactly.
And I always hate to see people go through a suffering and come out the same,
The
because
same.
that was not the purpose.
I'm so glad you said that. That's the thing. How you go through and you come out the same. No, there was supposed to be a difference. First, you're relying on him, but you can't miss him. You cannot miss God in those moments, in that moment. Don't miss God. So if I got to say anything to anybody out there, no matter whether you're going through breast cancer, don't miss God. Because if you miss God, you're going to miss the moment of whatever it is he's trying to do with you, through you, in you, and for you in your life. Okay. So that right there is amazing. So I'm excited to see this new. Let's reintroduce. Okay. Let me reintroduce to y'all God's girl, God's God's girl, LaToya Dotson. And on that note, I want you to tell me a little bit more about Pink Savvy, what you're doing with Pink Savvy, how everybody can stay connected to you, what's next with Pink Savvy. Tell us about Pink Savvy and all that you're doing in the community and all of that.
Well, God has given me such a broad vision with Pink Savvy, and I know it is going to flourish leaps and bounds when things start moving. So we just landed our first official corporate sponsorship, which I am so
Awesome.
excited about. And I'm working on a few more. So that is what I'll be working on, the rest of this year. But right now, my goal is, and what God has given me is for Peak Savvy to be a hands-on organization.
Okay.
We have Susan G. Komen and we have American Cancer Society. We have such broad and big organizations, and they are amazing. But we want to be able to hold hands. We want you to be able to see us and walk
Right.
alongside you, and we come see you and pray with you and bring items that's needed, have meal trains going for families that are in need. That is where I, God, that's what God has given me to do with Pink Savvy. And so where he takes that, I'm excited about it because I know it's going to be big.
I'm excited about that too. And he just spoke. See, that's why you had to go through all of that,
Yeah.
even for you to get to this place, because he was preparing you for greater. Because think about, if you were not at this place right now, your mind would have been like, well, I don't know. What if people see you unleashed? You
Yeah.
unleashed.
Yeah.
use is unleashed now. So I'm excited. That
I'm
is a
unleashed.
blessing. Yeah. Ooh, I
My
can't
husband
wait to
called me a
see.
Tusami. He calls me a Tusami.
Yeah, for real. Like seriously, I love it. But you had to go through all of that even to become, and you're still becoming. That's the beauty. So go ahead and tell us all of your handles so you all can follow her. Y'all got to watch this tsunami because it's about to do some amazing things. So you want to make sure that you're following LaToya. Give us all of your handles. Where can they follow you at? Stay
Where you
connected
can
with you.
follow Pink Savvy on Facebook at Pink Savvy Inc. We are on Instagram as well as Pink Savvy 00. And we've also launched something called Survivor Sorority. But this is for women that have gone through cancer, not just breast cancer, women that have gone through all cancers. And so we're just connecting a community of women together so that we can, do fun things. We can, vent about frustrations, ask for information, as well as we plan on, taking trips, doing retreats, just good stuff.
I see. So y'all make sure that you stay connected and follow LaToya on all of her handles. And then as we wrap up, what message would you like to give to men and women about breast cancer awareness and the importance of early detection and all of that?
Um, Breast cancer does not discriminate. Cancer itself, it doesn't matter what color you are, what what race you are, what sex you are. Um, don't take your health for granted. Be an advocate for your health. Do your self exams, perform them. You don't have to be like me and do it every day, but at least weekly. Perform your self exams. Get your yearly checkups. I see a lot of people that do not get their yearly exams. So much can be missed in that year. Um, if you are if you have family history, get a mammogram earlier than 40.
Mhm.
Do your self exams, like I said. Men as well. Wives, if you like, fill your husband up, it's okay. I do mine. He loves it. So, have a little fun with that. But what else do I want to say? Make every moment of your life count if you possibly can. Um, Live life trying to impact someone else's, because that's why I feel that we are here, to make an impact, because there are a lot of people that don't have what you have, and they look at what you have. And so being kind and showing love is what God called us to do. And so that all in itself makes an impact. Live in purpose.
Wow.
Live in purpose. No life.
That's good. That's good.
That's it.
Well,
That's
I am so honored. I just thank you so much for spending some time with us on today, guys, as we wrap up Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Now, let me just say this. It's just that this is the month set aside for breast cancer awareness, but every month you should be doing these things. Every month you should be checking your body, making sure that you get these checks. Please, I say this again, please, 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 women, if you have not gotten your mammograms, get them done. If it runs in your family, you should be as early as 35, getting them done on a regular basis. And usually if you don't have that history by 40, every single year thereafter, you should be getting a mammogram. Men, if you feel anything, I do mean anything, please go get checked, because early detection is truly what saves lives. And so we want to make sure that we are taking preventative measures. Make sure that you get healthy for real. Your health is your greatest wealth. If your health is not in order, what will you do and how will you even do it? And so again, thank you, thank you, thank you, Mrs. LaToya Dotson, y'all. This was our last candid conversation for this month. But we're excited, and make sure you follow her in everything that she's doing, because God is doing some new things with her, with you. I can just see that. Stay true to the purpose that God has placed in your life. And honey, do it boldly. Do it boldly. Let's see your nails, because let's see those nails. See, look at see, see,
Are
ain't
they
God
done?
good? Look, see, won't ain't God a restore in
He
here, restore?
is. He is. He restored all of that. And I
See, because it wasn't what made you, right? It wasn't what made you, but he restored it. Ain't
yes,
God good?
yes,
So,
he
guys,
is.
if you didn't get anything from her, I'm telling you, but please make sure you share this. Share this live, so that someone, I'm telling you, someone needs to hear this information. So if you're joining us on the replay, let us know that, but let us know where you're coming in from. But I am so grateful and honored for each of you who have tuned in for Candid Conversations. Thank you again, Mrs. LaToya
Thank you for having
Dotson
me.
of Pink Savvy. Pink Savvy, honey. I'm gonna be able to say, y'all, she was on Candid Conversations. I'm telling you, y'all better watch out for Pink Savvy, because Pink Savvy's So and don't forget your purpose, because we are all here for a purpose. My thing is, when you know your purpose, you have unleashed your power.
That's right.
And so stand boldly in that very thing that God called you to do, and do it unapologetically, because God qualified you to do it. And so, on that note, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you share this live. But Mrs. LaToya Dotson, thank you again for this
You're
candid
welcome.
conversation. We honor you, we adore you, and to all of our breast cancer survivors, we celebrate you. Those who are going through it right now, we pray for you, we support you, and we love each and every one of you. And so, get those mammograms done, get checked. Early
Yes, yes.
detection is key. Thanks so much, y'all. Have an incredible Thursday. God bless each and every one of you. Bye.